Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. Today we are going to discuss classification and synthesis of phospholipids. In last lecture we studied the lipids, what are the lipids, how they are made, what's the role of fatty acids, what is glycerol or the other alcohol which may be the part of the lipids. And under the lipids, today we are going to discuss the phospholipids. That what are the phospholipids? Phospholipids are in fact under the class of the lipids which is called the compound lipid. Therefore, these phospholipids are complex or the compound lipids because instead of containing the you can say the fatty acids, alcohol, they contain some other functionalities or the groups, and therefore they contain the phosphoric acid in addition to the fatty acid functionality, nitrogenous base, and the alcohol. Therefore, they are called the complex or the compound lipids because their structure consists of other additional you can say molecules or the molecular moieties or the functional group which are the phosphoric acid, but they are like the other lipids because they consist of the fatty acids and alcohol as well. And phospholipids are further classified as glycerophospholipids, or which are also called as phosphoglycerides. And why they are called the glycerophospholipids? Because they contain glycerol as the alcohol. In the glycerophospholipids, the alcohol which is present is the glycerol, but the other class which is the sphingophospholipid, or it's also called the sphingomyelins, they contain sphingosine as the alcohol. Here is the molecule of the sphingosine. It's also an alcohol because it consists of two hydroxyl groups which are bonded with the carbon skeleton. And the structure of the glycerol is simple. It's the CH2OH, CHOH, and CH2OH. But instead of the second hydrogen, this long chain of alkyl group is present, but here it's the alkenyl group because the double bond is present, and 12 intervening CH2 groups are present over here. And with the second carbon, instead of OH, NH2 group is present, and third one is same as the glycerol, which is CH2OH. Therefore, this alcohol is called sphingosine, and the fatty acid which consists of sphingosine as the alcohol which is bonded to the fatty acid, they are called as the sphingophospholipid. Therefore, under the classification of the phospholipids, two important class of the lipids are present. They are the glycerophospholipids containing glycerol as the alcohol, and the sphingophospholipid which consist of sphingosine as the alcohol moiety. First class is glycerophospholipids. In glycerophospholipids, which are the major lipids, they occur in the biological membrane. It means the biological membrane, cell membrane, they consist of high amount of glycerophospholipids. And here is the structure of the glycerophospholipids. It has the two tails and the central body, and this one is the head. The tail consists of the two fatty acid chain. First fatty acid chain is saturated one. Here is no double bond in it. And second consists of the double bond. Therefore, it is called the unsaturated fatty acid. The fatty acid structure is started from here, like carbonyl, and so on the alkyl or the alkenyl functionality. And here's the structure of the glycerol. And if it's the position number one, which consists of the saturated fatty acid, here's the position 2, which consists of unsaturated fatty acid, and position 3, which consists of the phosphate group. It's not the phosphorus, it's the phosphate group, which consists of PO4 negative uh, group as the hydrophilic head. And therefore, phosphate group is present with the position number 3 of the carbon. And therefore, we say that the 3 phosphate group, which is present in esterified linkage like this uh, with the glycerol in the glycerophospholipids, but there is saturated fatty acid at carbon number 1, unsaturated fatty acid at carbon number 2. These are saturated and unsaturated fatty acids make the hydrophobic end, whereas the glycerol, this main part, and phosphate group, they act as the hydrophilic character. They act as hydrophilic head or having the hydrophilic character or the nature. Therefore, these glycerophospholipids has the uh, water loving and the water repelling characteristics as well. Therefore, they can easily be the made the part of the bloodstream, and these glycerophospholipids are present in the large amount in the cell membrane, biological membranes. Therefore, they are responsible for the permeability of the membrane for the you can say the take in or the go out of certain or giving away the certain cell small parts or the you can say the sodium potassium and such type of the ions. They are responsible for making the cell permeability and the biological functions of the cell as well. Number first is the phosphatidic acid, and these are the under classification of the phospholipids. They are the simplest phospholipids, and it doesn't occur in good concentration in the tissue. It means that they are present in the tissues or in the cell, but their concentration is not very high, and they are the simplest phospholipids. It means that they must consist of fatty acid, they must consist of glycerol or the alcohol, and they also consist of phosphate group as well. And basically, phosphatidic acid is an intermediate in the synthesis of triacylglycerol and the phospholipids. Today, we will discuss in the later slides the synthesis of phospholipids as well. And in the last lecture, we discussed the synthesis of triacylglycerol, and phosphatidic acid appeared as intermediate during the synthesis of triacylglycerol. And today we will also look how the phosphatidic acid make its entry or make its part as intermediate in the phospholipids synthesis. The other glycerophospholipids containing different nitrogenous bases or the groups may also be recorded as the derivatives of phosphatidic acid. It means that from the phosphatidic acids, other glycerophospholipids can be originated or can be synthesized in the living metabolic system, and they consist of different nitrogenous bases or the other small groups which but the remain skeletal or the main backbone of the phosphatidic acid is present in them. Next is lecithins, and lecithins are also known as the phosphatidylcholine, and These are the most abundant group of the phospholipids which are present in the cell membrane. It means that the last lipids, phospholipids, phosphatidic acid, they are less in concentration, but the lecithins, which is the phosphatidylcholine, they are present in abundant amount in the cell membrane. And chemically, they are derived from the word like lecithos, which is for the Greek word used for the egg yolk. And chemically, lecithin is the phosphatidic acid with the choline as the base. It means that they are the derivatives of the phosphatidic acid, but they consist of the choline at the one end, and the phosphatidylcholine represent the storage form of the body choline. It means that if the choline is surplus in body, then if it's going to be conserve or the store in the body, then it must be uh, stored as the phosphatidylcholine. And here is the structure of the simple phosphatidylcholine, which consists of 1, 2, and 3. This is the uh, glycerol backbone, and first, second, these two long chains are attached as the you can say steric in the steric linkage as the fatty acid, but phosphate group is linked with the choline, and choline is consist of NCH3CH3. This terminal is positive one. Then is the CH2 and OH. Choline is ended over here as OH, and therefore choline is attached in the structure of the phosphatidic acid, and it gives the lecithin or the phosphatidylcholine, which is an important, you can say, functionality or the important. It take an important part in making the cell membrane composition. Next is dipalmitoyl lecithin, and dipalmitoyl lecithin. They are important phosphatidylcholine found in lungs. It means that they are under the phosphatidylcholine or the lecithin. Therefore, I have used the term A. It means that they are under the phosphatidylcholine or the lecithin. They are the subclass, and it means that they are the you can say the class of the important class of the lecithins, and they are present in large concentration in the lungs. And why they are present in lungs? Because they are present in lungs um, uh, in order to have the retained the to keep the retention the original lungs you can say structure, in order that the inner surface or the inner layers of the lungs don't uh, attached or don't touch one another, in order that lungs may be inhale or exhale. They provide the large surface area for the respiration, and therefore it this dipalmitoyl lecithin, they provide as the surface active agent and prevent the adherence of the inner layer of the lungs. Adherence means that the lungs inner layer will not uh, touch one another. If the lungs inner layers touch one another, it means that lungs are big balloon. When there is you can say the air comes out of the balloon, then the inner walls of the balloon will be adhere to one another. Same is the structure of the lungs. If the dipalmitoyl lecithin don't act as the surface active agent, then the inner layers or in the inner surface of the lung will adhere to one another, touch with one another. Therefore, they provide the surface tension is in such a way, they are their activities just like the surfactants, and therefore they are the surface active agent, and therefore they definitely have the role in decreasing the surface tension of the inner layer of the lungs, in order to make them away from one another. When they are inner layer of the lungs are away from one another, it means that there is much space in them to promote the process of the respiration, inhaling and the exhaling as well. And therefore, the respiratory distress syndrome, which is found in the infants, which is the disorder which is characterized by the absence of the dipalmitoyl lecithin in the lungs, this is the dipalmitoyl lecithin must be present in lungs in order to prevent it from the adherence. And therefore, this syndrome, in this syndrome, this phosphatidic acid or the lecithin is not present. Therefore, they have the respiratory syndrome, or these infants have disorder which is characterized with the breathing problem. And here is the structure of the dipalmitoyl lecithin, which consists of the long fatty acid chains attached with the here is the main core of the glycerol and phosphate, and along with the phosphate there is presence of the um, choline end, and attached with the CH2 and N in the quaternary structure. But instead of the if you will do comparison with the lecithin, then there is a change in these you can say the alkyl chain of the fatty acids. Therefore, we can say that the dipalmitoyl lecithin is an important uh, you can say phosphatidylcholine fatty acid or the lipids which is found in the lungs, and it comes under the class of the phosphatidylcholine or the lecithins. The B group of the phosphatidylcholine is formed by the removal of fatty acid either at position number 1 or position number 2 or the C2 of the lecithin. And when like here is the removal of the fatty acid from the carbon 2, and therefore by the removal of the you can say the fatty acid from the position 2, here is the formation of another fatty acid which is called the lysolecithin. Rest of the structure is you can see same, and this R1 may be the consist of the 16 carbon, 18 carbon and so on, long chain of the you can say alkyl group. And third class is the cephalins, and cephalins are termed as the phospho ethynylamine. Instead of phosphatidylcholine, they are the phosphatidylethanolamine. And ethanolamine is the nitrogenous base which is present in the cephalin, and thus lecithin and the cephalin differ with regard to the base. Here is the structure of the cephalin, which is the phosphatidyl ethanolamine, and you can see over here that ethanol is the CH2, CH3, CH2OH, but at the terminal position, hydrogen is replaced with the amino group, and therefore we can say that the ethanol amine is present as the base in the cephalin, and but rest of the structure is nearly same like that of basic structure is same like that of the lecithin. Next one is the fourth class, which is called the phosphatidyl inositol, and in the phosphatidyl inositol is present the inositol ring, and inositol ring when present with the phosphate group, they act as the stereoisomer myoinositol, which is attached to the phosphatidic acid to give the phosphatidyl inositol, which is termed as the pi. Here is the structure of phosphatidyl inositol. Fatty acid backbone is present over here. This is glycerol main core, and then is the phosphate group, and the inositol ring is present. And this is an important component of the cell membrane, and the action of the certain hormones like the oxytocin, vasopressin is mediated through the phosphatidyl inositol. It means that the phosphatidyl inositol, no doubt, it's present in the cell membrane of many cells, but they also mediate and regulate the functions of the other hormones, which is the oxytocin, vasopressins, and therefore they are also regarded as the important fatty acids or the phospholipids. The next question is the word's difference between the inositol and the glucose. Both are the six-membered ring, but in the inositol there is no oxygen, but all the carbons they make the ring. It means that ring is comprised of only one uh, element, which is carbon. Therefore, they are called the carbocyclic. And the structure is derived from the sugars like the glucose, and therefore they are called the carbocyclic sugars. And inositol, or more precisely in literature, they are termed as the myo-inositol. It's the carbocyclic sugar, consists of no oxygen in the ring. The ring is, or the cycle is made up of only carbon, and it's abundant in brain and other mammalian tissues. And this inositol mediates the cell signal transduction in response to the variety of the hormones. It means the main signals are, you can say, the transmitted from the brain, and therefore they are involved in the signal mediations, and they are the neurotransmitters and growth factors also. And it means that the neurotransmitter which are responsible for any signal, or you can say the against the stimuli, the signals are produced in the you can say body, and they participate in the osmoregulation, which is very important for the maintenance of fluids and the you can say water in the body. Therefore, the carbocyclic sugars, which is the myo-inositol, containing the similar, not the similar, but you can say that to some extent it has the structure similarities with the glucose, and they are responsible for the signal transductions, and they are also take part in the growth factor, which are responsible for the mammalian growth, and the neurotransmitters which run through the central nervous system, and neurons which are responsible for the you can say the cell signalings. And inositol is made an important part in the cell membrane in the while which is attached with the phosphate group with the with backbone of the glycerol, and the you can say the fatty acids at carbon first and the second. Next, fifth class is the phosphatidylserine. It means that phosphatidyl group is same, but amino acid is present, and this amino acid is serine, which is present in this group of the phospholipids, or overall they are called the glycerophospholipids. Here is the two fatty acids chains, glycerol unit, and next is the phosphate group. But phosphate group, there is presence of this serine amino acid. Serine amino acid is present at the terminal of this lipids and overall phospholipids. And these phospholipids are known as the phosphatidylserine. The name is derived from the amino acid serine. And phosphatidylthreonine is also found in certain tissues. It means in many tissues you can find the phosphatidylserine as the phospholipids, but in some tissues, this serine unit is replaced by the other amino acid, which is the threonine. Next class is the plasmalogens, and when the fatty acid is attached by an ether linkage at the C1 of the glycerol in the glycerophospholipids, then the resultant phospholipid, which is metabolite or metabolically synthesized in the body, is the plasmalogen. And plasmalogen, which doesn't consist of the steric linkage at the carbon 1, but the fatty acid is attached with the glycerol unit with the ether linkage. Here is the structure of the plasmalogen, and plasmalogen consists of these are the fatty acid chain, first chain, second chain, and phosphate group, and terminal unit is of choline. And here you can see that like it's the position number 1, it's the second, it's the third of the glycerol. At first position, there is presence of fatty acid. At second position, yes, fatty acid is attached. At the third position, phosphate group is attached. But at the first position, there is not the steric linkage. A steric linkage is like this. But at the first position, fatty acid is attached with the ether linkage. In ether linkage, oxygen is bounded with the 2 carbon. But in the steric linkage, there is presence of ester group, which is the COO, and therefore this steric linkage is responsible for the binding of this fatty acid chain with the glycerol. Therefore, we can say that in the plasmalogens, at carbon number 1, the fatty acid which is linked with the glycerol skeleton or the backbone or the main core, it's attached through the ether linkage, not the steric linkage. And the phosphatidyl ethanol amine is the most important, which is similar in structure the phosphatidyl ethanol amine, but for the ether linkage instead of the ester linkage, which is the difference between these two, phosphatidyl ethanolamine and phosphatidyl ethanolamine, between these two. And unsaturated fatty acid, which is occurred at the C1, and choline and the inositol and the serine may also substitute the ethanolamine to give the other plasmalogen. This ethanolamine, like which consists of CH2, CH2, and bonded with the NH2 and OH group. And here you can see that the choline unit may be present. Choline at the very first day, you can say phospholipid space have looked at the choline is present. In the last fatty acid, we have seen the serine unit may be present, the N-acetol or the carbocyclic ring may be present. Therefore, when there is a change at the, you can say, this end at the ethanolamine end, then you can say different plasmalogens, they can be synthesized metabolically in the body. Therefore, we can conclude over here that at carbon number 1, there is no steric linkage, there is ether linkage. And at the carbon 3, the phosphate group, which may be linked with the choline, which may be linked with the inositol or the serine to make the other derivatives of the plasmalogen, which consist of the ethanolamine linked with the phosphate group. Next is the cardiolipin, and it is so named as it was first isolated from the cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscle means hard muscle. Therefore, under the name of cardiac muscle, they are known as the cardiolipin. Then the combination of phospholipids, but present in there in the cardiac muscle or the heart muscle of the individual. And structurally, cardiolipin consists of two molecules of phosphatidic acid, and which are held by the additional glycerol through the phosphate group. And therefore, you can see in the cardiolipin, there is present of phosphatidyl glycerol starting from here up to here. Like this is 1, 2, 3 containing one glycerol unit, two fatty acid, one phosphate group, which makes the phosphatidyl glycerol. Similarly, at the other end, two fatty acids are present, but they are regarded as R3 and R4 chain instead of other fatty acid which was present at the left end, which is regarded as the R1 and R2. And they are also linked through the glycerol core with the phosphate group, and therefore the phosphatidyl glycerol unit is present at the both end of the cardiolipin, and intervening another, this is the CH2 CH and CH2, another glycerol unit. It means that it consists of the combinations of the glycerol unit, phosphate group, and four chain of the fatty acids. Therefore, we can say that the structurally cardiolipins consist of two molecules or the two chains or moieties which are present at the both ends as the phosphatidyl glycerol, and which is held by an additional glycerol units. And this glycerol unit which is present at the center is it is held by, or it is present through the phosphate groups, and it is an important component of the inner mitochondrial membrane, and it's essential for the mitochondrial function as well. And therefore we can see up till that we have studied many phospholipids, and they all are part of the membranes. These membranes may be present in the lungs, they may be present in the heart muscles. Their role is very significant. Next is the overall function of phospholipids. What are the function of the phospholipids? Why they are present in variety of the way, in the variety of the combinations. Diversity is present in their structure. They are present abundantly in the cell membrane. Then here is the question, why the phospholipids are too much important to cause so many functions. Therefore, the phospholipids constitutes an important group of the compounds lipids, compound lipid, which consist of other groups like the nitrogenous bases, like the phosphate group instead of the instead of the glycerol and the fatty acid chains. Here are the important functions of the phospholipids. In association with the proteins, phospholipids form structural components of membrane. It means that in cell membranes, yes, protein is an important functionality, but the phospholipids are also present and they regulate the membrane permeability. I have told you earlier that the membrane permeability is very important for the cell functioning and the regulation of the many, you can say, solute or the small molecules, small ions for their migration or for their diffusion. And number second is phospholipids like the lecithin, cephalin, cardiolipin, which are in the mitochondria. They maintain the conformation of the electron transport chain components, and thus they take an important part in the cellular respiration, because for the cellular respiration, electron transport chain, and later on the formation of many ADPs, they are take an important part in the conformation of the electron transport chain components. Therefore, they regulate the cellular respiration, and they are the lecithin, phospholipid, and cardiolipin, which are the important phospholipids, which are make the uh, structural part of the mitochondria. Number third is phospholipids participate in the absorption of fat from the intestine. It means that after the digestion, when digestion is over in the intestine for the fat, then there is need for the absorption of the fat from the intestine, and for the absorption of fats from the intestine, phospholipids are there, which are responsible, which take part or which have the role for the absorption of the fats. And number next is phospholipids are essential for the synthesis of different lipoproteins. It means that they participate in the transport of the lipids, and phospholipids take part in the formation of lipoproteins. It means that the combination of proteins with the lipids. Therefore, the lipids part is devoted or denoted by there is donation from the phospholipid, and transport is made uh, from the phospholipids towards the proteins to make the lipoproteins. Number fifth is accumulation of fat in the liver, which is the fatty liver, can be prevented by the phospholipids. Hence, they are regarded as the lipotropic factor. Lipotropic factor means such type of the factors which prevents the accumulation of the fat in the liver. Fat shouldn't be accumulated or stored in the liver. Therefore, this is prevented by the phospholipids. Therefore, phospholipids are called as lipotropic factors, such factors which are responsible for the prevention of accumulation of fats in the liver. Next is arachidonic acid, which is an unsaturated fatty acid, and it's liberated from the phospholipid. This arachidonic acid serves as precursor or the starting material or synthone for the synthesis of eicosanoids or the prostaglandin, uh, such type of the you can say the molecules. Arachidonic acid take its important part, and it's definitely liberated from the phospholipids. It means that the eicosanoids are in fact derivatives of the phospholipids. Number seventh is phospholipids participate in the reverse cholesterol transport, thus help in the removal of the cholesterol from the body. It means that the cholesterol which is embedded or it form the globules in the body, it is definitely reversed from the body, or the cholesterol is removed from the body and made the part of metabolic system to provide the energy. And phospholipids have an important role to make the removal of the cholesterol from the body. And cholesterol is very dangerous. If it is, you can say it make the layers or the plaque inside of the, you can say the uh, arteries, and therefore they cause the blockage. And phospholipid participate in the reversal or the reverse cholesterol transport. Number eight is phospholipid act as surfactants. It means that which agent which lower the surface tension. And I have told you earlier, in the lungs, these phospholipids have an important role, like dipalmitoyl phosphatidylcholine, which is an important phospholipid, which is present in lungs. And in lungs, it behaves as surfactant, and it prevents the lining or the inner surface of the lungs to coalesce or collapse with one another. It prevents this collapsing. And respiratory distress syndrome, which is caused in infants, is also associated with the insufficient production of this surfactant in the body. And cephalin, which is an important group of the phospholipid, it it participate in the blood clotting. It means that definitely clotting is responsible for the protein factors and fibrinogen, but cephalin also take its part in the blood clotting, um, and it's an important phospholipid as well. Next is the second half, which is the metabolism of phospholipids. In it, we will also discuss the synthesis procedures. And metabolism of phospholipids consist of the phospholipids are a specialized group of the lipids which perform a variety of functions which we have discussed, which may be in the muscles, which may be in the cell membrane, which are part of the lungs or the cardiac muscles, and they include the membrane structures and impart many functions. And they have also involvement in the blood clotting, and a supply of arachidonic acid for the synthesis of the prostaglandins, econocytes, which are also derivatives of the phospholipids. It means that the metabolism of phospholipids or the chemistry of phospholipids, or in fact the biofunctions of the phospholipids, is very rich biochemistry. Next is cytidine triphosphate. I have discussed its structure and function because the later metabolic process consists of many reaction which has the involvement of CTP. Therefore, I have found that CTP should be introduced over here. What's its structure and what's its full name, and what are its important functions. Therefore, CTD is discussed, CTP is discussed over here because it has take part in the you can say reaction which are involved in the metabolism of the phospholipids. Then CTP is known as the cytidine triphosphate. And here's the structure of cytidine triphosphate. Consists of three phosphate group. Therefore, name is triphosphate. It is the pyrimidine nucleoside triphosphate. It means that pyrimidine structure is present, and CTP, much like its with structure is like the ATP, which is the adenosine triphosphate. It consists of ribose sugar, three phosphate groups. And the major difference between the ADP and the CTP is that of the base. And base used, which in the CTP is the cytosine, and CTP is the substrate in the synthesis of RNA. It means that CTP acts as the substrate, it provides as the precursor molecule for the synthesis of RNAs. And CTP is the high energy molecule which is similar to the ATP. It means high energy molecule which is responsible for giving its phosphate group, but its role as an energy coupler is limited to a much smaller subset of metabolic reaction. It means that ADP comprised of many reaction, it has involvement in metabolic reaction, but CTP has less role or the less involvement in such type of the metabolic reactions. And CTP is a coenzyme in the metabolic reaction, like the synthesis of the glycophospholipid and glycosylation of the protein. It means where it behaves as a coenzyme in the metabolic reaction. And here is some introduction about the ethanol amine and the choline, because they are used in the next metabolic reaction. And ethanol amine, like ethanol, is the CH3CH2OH, but here one hydrogen is removed amino group. Therefore, it is called ethanolamine. And this molecule is the bifunctional. Bifunctional why? Because it consists of an important functional group which is amino, and it also consists of another important functional group which are alcohol, hydroxyl. Therefore, ethanol amine are recorded as important bifunctional group, and they consist of an primary amine and the primary alcohol in its structure. And next is choline. Choline is an essential nutrient which is present and for the human and many other animals, and it maintain health, and it must be obtained from the diet as choline or as choline phospholipids like the phosphatidylcholine. It means that it's an essential nutrient which must be taken by the human and many other animals uh, from the diet, and choline, which is present as a simple form as CH2, CH2, two functional group, nitrogen in the form of quaternary structure, and OH, alcoholic functionality. This positive charge on nitrogen is balanced with the X factor, X negative factor, which may be any halogen. And it produces the acetylcholine, which is an important neurotransmitter, in fact. Here is the synthesis of phospholipids. And phospholipids are synthesized from the phosphatidic acid and 1,2-acyl, 1,2-diacylglycerol intermediates, which are used in the production of the triacylglycerol. When we have discussed the chemistry of the triacylglycerol, their metabolic synthesis, I have told you earlier that yes, this triacylglycerol are also linked with the synthesis of the phospholipids. And therefore, phospholipid synthesis occur in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Here, the synthesis is not in the, you can say, the mitochondria, but the synthesis is going to take place in the endoplasmic reticulum. And formation of the lecithin and the cephalin, and the choline and the ethanolamine, which I have discussed in the latest slide. Like here was the structure of ethanolamine and the choline, which take part in the first step and utilize the ATP. One phosphate group is made the part of choline or the ethanolamine. Therefore, ADP is released, and ADP, adenosine triphosphate, gives the adenosine diphosphate, and this phosphate group make the part of choline as phosphocholine, and secondly for the ethanolamine it uh, form the phosphoethanolamine, and this phosphocholine or the phosphoethanolamine, they make, you can say, combine with the CTP, and therefore choline, we will say that the choline and the ethanol amine, they are first phosphorylated. They take the phosphate group in its structure, and later on in reaction number second, they combine with the CTP, cytidine triphosphate, to form respectively CTP unit with the choline or the ethanolamine, and there is removal of pyrophosphate groups. And therefore, from the phosphate choline and the phosphoenol ethanolamine, when CTP is make their part, or CTP is attached with it with them, they form the CTP choline or the CTP ethanol amine for the formation of lecithin and the cephalin They are the important phospholipids. For their synthesis, these are the first two steps. Next is phosphocholine or the phosphoethanolamine, which combine with the CTP to give this unit. They will combine with the 1,2-diacylglycerol instead of triacylglycerol. At the third position, there is only OH group. There is no fatty acid chain. Therefore, it is recorded as 1, 2. First and second position, there is presence of two fatty acids chain, and therefore this cholesterol is named as 1,2-diacylglycerol. 1,2-diacylglycerol and the CTP or the CDP choline or the ethanolamine combine with this glycerol unit to give the phosphatidyl units as the phosphatidyl choline or the phosphatidyl ethanolamine. It means that this step is the metabolic reaction for the synthesis of the phosphatidyl units. And phosphatidylcholine, which is also known as the lecithin, it is synthesized when the CTP choline is combined with the 1,2-diacylglycerol. And the phosphatidyl similarly, ethanolamine is formed when CDP ethanolamine is combined with the 1,2-diacylglycerol to give the phosphatidyl ethanolamine. And the phosphatidyl ethanolamine can be converted into the phosphatidylcholine on the methylation because the structure is only differ at the position. And here you can see the structure is same like first. If you will see the glycerol unit, fatty acid chain at the second fatty acid chain carbon unit, but at the third position, instead of hydrogen, it's the presence of phosphate group with the choline or the you can say from here it means that the CDP with the cytosine diphosphate unit which was linked with the choline, it is liberated in the cell at CMP, which is the cytidine monophosphate. It means that one phosphate unit is linked with the choline. It means that choline or ethanolamine consists of one phosphate group, which is which was made its part from the CTP, and CMP is released, and it reacts with the 1,2-diacyl glycerol to gives the phosphatidylcholine or the phosphatidyl ethanol amine. And this choline and ethanolamine, they are used for the phospholipid synthesis. They are mostly derived from the pre-existing phospholipids. It means that if some phospholipids are already present in the cell, then the endoplasmic reticulum utilize these phospholipids as the source of the choline and the ethanolamine. Therefore, while utilizing the pre-existing phospholipids, this phospholipid synthesis, these are also regarded as the salvage pathway. What's the salvage pathway? The phospholipid synthesis, which is starting with the choline or the ethanolamine, it's also recorded as the salvage process or the pathway. It's the pathway in which the biological end product is produced from the intermediate in the degradative pathway of its own or the similar substance. It means that the similar substance or the some already pre-existing molecule of the same compound which is going to be synthesized in the metabolic reaction, they serves as the precursor or the starting material for the process. It means that the starting material or the intermediate, if they are derived from the process which is later on of the same as that of its synthesis, therefore they are called the salvage pathway. Therefore, this utilization of the choline and the ethanolamine for the synthesis of phospholipids, they are also recorded as the salvage pathway. And this term is often refers to the nucleotide salvage, in particular, in which the nucleotides are synthesized from the intermediate in their degradative pathway. It means some nucleotides are degraded, they break down to give the intermediate, and they intermediate further. They coupled one another, react one another to give the nucleotide at the last or in the synthetic stages. Number second metabolic reaction is the synthesis of phosphatidylserine. And phosphatidylethanolamine can exchange its ethanol group with the free serine to produce the phosphatidylserine. Like here are two you can say phospholipids intermediates like phosphatidylethanolamine and phosphatidylserine. And they here's the structure of the ethanolamine and here's the structure of serine. And therefore, when serine is decarboxylated or carbon dioxide is released, it means that this group is released. When this group is released, then remaining part is OH, CH2, CH2, NH2, which is in fact the ethanolamine. It means that phosphatidylserine on liberation of carbon dioxide gives the phosphatidylethanolamine, which consists of this functionality. And similarly, phosphatidylethanolamine, when it will definitely convert it into serine when there is carboxylation. It means that the serine can be converted into ethanol amine as well. And this phosphatidylethanolamine can go towards the phosphatidylcholine as well, uh, which we have discussed later. And therefore, the carboxylation and decarboxylation gives alternatively the phosphatidylethanolamine and phosphatidylserine. Next is the third reaction, which is the formation of the uh, phosphatidyl inositol. And here's the structure of inositol, which consists of a carbocyclic ring and all OH groups, six OH groups are present around the ring. And CDP diacylglycerol, which is produced from the phosphatidic acid, it combines with the anisitol to form the phosphatidyl anisitol. And anisitol, we have discussed earlier that it's in fact the carbocyclic sugar, and it is abundant in the brain and the other mammalian tissue, and it's responsible for the cell mediation process, signal transduction, and neurotransmitter. And it's also involved in the growth factors and to participate in the regulation of the fluids and water like in the cell for the osmoregulation process. For the formation of phosphatidyl inositol, if we will start from the glycerol 3-phosphate or the dihydroxyacetone phosphate, when it gives the through the number of reaction gives through a series of reaction, it will give the phosphatidic acid. And this phosphatidic acid later on combines with the CTP, and here is the combination or the union attachment of the this CTP as the cytidine phosphate. Already one phosphate group was already present in the phosphatidic acid. And this CDP diacylglycerol unit, then it combines with the inositol, and this CMP cytidine monophosphate unit is released. Therefore, instead of cytosine, there is attachment of inositol. When inositol is attached with the backbone of the phosphatidic acid, which consists of 1,2-diacylglycerol and the phosphate group at the third position, it gives the phosphatidyl inositol. Therefore, there is an important role of, you can say, CTP. CTP is make in its important entries in the metabolic reaction in order to assist the reaction. um, like it's we have discussed earlier, it's the role like ADP, but its role is limited instead of yeah, in comparison of the ATP. And this phospholipid contains arachidonic acid on carbon 2 of the glycerol, which serves as the substrate for the prostaglandin synthesis. And further, this pi is an important for the signal transmission across the cell membrane. And number 4 step is the synthesis of phosphatidyl glycerol and the cardiolipin. And CTP diacylglycerol combines with the glycerol 3 phosphate to form the phosphatidyl glycerol 3 phosphate, and which then forms phosphatidyl glycerol. In the later slide, we have seen that up till now phosphatidyl inositol is formed in one pathway, but for if you talk for the other pathway, then it consists of synthesis of phosphatidyl glycerol or the cardiolipin. While starting with the CTP diacylglycerol, um, it combines with the glycerol 3 phosphate to form the phosphatidyl glycerol 3 phosphate unit, and which then form the phosphatidyl glycerol. And the later combines with another molecule of phosphatidyl glycerol to form or to produce the cardiolipin, which is other important phospholipids. And this cardiolipin is the only phospholipid which possess the antigenic properties, antigenic antibodies properties. It means that when antigen are made the part, then the antibodies are produced in their response. How their synthesis is accomplished while starting from the glycerol 3 phosphate, like we have discussed in the later pathway. Uh, Phosphatidic acid is formed, CTP is informed, and the CTP is attached with the phosphatidic acid to give the CTP diacylglycerol. Therefore, the synthetic pathway will start from the CTP diacylglycerol to give the cardiolipin or to give the phosphatidyl glycerol. First, how the phosphatidyl glycerol is formed. When CTP diacylglycerol is formed in the cell, then the glycerol 3 phosphate reacts with the CTP diacylglycerol, and it gives the phosphatidyl glycerol 3 phosphate. It means that this CTP is released as CMP, and in its here instead of cytidine, there is attachment of glycerol 3 phosphate unit, and therefore the name is phosphatidyl glycerol 3 phosphate. And when water is uh, came into the molecule, inorganic phosphate group is released, and therefore phosphatidyl glycerol synthesis is accomplished. And you have to draw its formula from the beginning slides, where I have discussed in detail what are the structure of cardiolipin, what are the structure of the phosphatidyl glycerol, and therefore phosphatidyl glycerol give away the glycerol unit, and therefore the diphospho tidylglycerol is formed, which is recorded as the cardiolipin. Here is the overall pathway. Overall pathways I have split into left and right, which I have discussed for the phosphatidylcholine and cardiolipin. And here is the overall pathway for the synthesis of multiple phospholipids while starting from glycerol 3 phosphate. When phosphatidic acid is formed from the multiple or the series of the reactions, then here it will go towards the synthesis of, you can say, the phosphatidylcholine or phosphatidylethanolamine, and which gives the phosphatidyl inositol while entering from this pathway. And when CTP diacylglycerol is entered in the right pathway to utilize the glycerol 3 phosphate unit, then the cardiolipin is formed. I have split in three, you can say, the metabolic processes. I have split over here this pathway starting from in this way, and this fifth and sixth, and later on cardiolipin up to. And you have to combine all these pathways together over in this slide to give the overall synthetic process which is responsible for the synthesis of the phospholipids. And the formation of plasmalogen is formed when these are the phospholipids with the fatty acid at carbon number 1, ether linkage bounded instead of the steric linkage, and important plasmalogen which is the 1 alkenyl 2 acetyl glycerol 3 phosphocholine, and which causes blood platelet aggregation, and it's also referred as the platelet activating factor. Um, and you can say the fifth step, which is the plasmalogen synthesis. Rest of the pathway will remains the same. Only the fatty acid which is involved in that is bounded with the ether linkage instead of the steric linkage. And for assignment, you have to design a pathway for the metabolic synthesis of plasmalogen, and you have to draw the whole pathway. You have to select the what fatty acid will be the selected one for the attachment at the carbon number 1 to give the plasmalogen. This is all together for today's lecture, which consists of classification of phospholipids and later on the synthesis of important phospholipids which occurred in the endoplasmic reticulum. I hope so you will understand it and go through it multiple times to uh, definitely understand the metabolic reactions. If you have any problem, then you can discuss in the classroom, Google Classroom. Best wishes and Allah Hafiz.